What is going on, 5-9 gamers, and welcome back to the 5-9 mobile channel. It is the beginning of the month here on Dokkan Battles, so if you guys are familiar with what we do, you should know what time it is. We are looking at everybody's power levels and kind of how they scale, especially looking at Global versus JP, the battle of the versions. But I cannot do this alone. I have a guest with me today, and his name is Nolar. How you doing today, Nolar?
I am good. I'm pretty excited to see how this all plays out. There's still someone who's just giga power leveling like crazy, and his name's not Truth. That's all I can say.
I had a squint that, last month I was squinting. I haven't left that squint looking at this data again. It's still the same suspect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, we go ahead and take a look at the overall data, seeing stuff like battle power per day, the overall power levels, and who kind of takes up the percentages on the wheels. And this is going to be kind of a similar routine that we're doing for the month of October. So you guys should be able to look forward to this every month going forward. But we have a couple of factors that we have to talk about. And the biggest thing is that Global has finally gotten the long-awaited buffs to quest mode, and more specifically, the Godsend stage of 28-2. So if you guys don't know, Area 28 Stage 2 is now deemed the best link leveling stage for Global. As we had the high stamina usage, we only have 3 fights with a good chance to get the link levels that you need. And you're running through the event in like a minute and 30. So if you are power leveling, power link leveling, trying to get as many 10s as possible, going as quick as possible, this is kind of the best bang for your buck. And now with JP, we also have Area 29 with Stage 3, so that is also a way that we could farm power level as well as incredible gems. So things have really changed on both versions. It seems like we always have a new factor every month, that with all beginning of the summer being the keys, and now we have new quests coming. So there's a lot to talk about here, and I think overall the numbers are going to reflect that.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing to remember is that, even though JP gets some stuff early, it eventually comes to Global, and it kind of balances itself out in the end. But of course, JP is always going to be 6 months ahead. So keep that skewed up there. So when we're looking at how each version has done, we have this graph right here, which displays the battle power per day on JP, which is in blue, versus Global, which is in red. With those factors considered in, we've got a delta of 1.5 million battle power gained for JP, and on Global it's 1.3. With 28-2 out there, I think, especially you can do it in like a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Power level is also tied to how many times you can finish a story mode quest, or any quest actually. I think you can see the Global started ramping up towards the end there, because I believe they got it towards like October 20th, around that time. But October 20th is also the same time where JP got Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, so that's also 2 new units to farm link levels. There was the Halloween event as well, so yeah, you could tell at the very end there, from the 30th to the 31st, Global gained about 200k power level, and that's probably, I want to assume, the keys, but it also could be just, hey, new units, easy to grind, farm, all that kind of stuff. So how's the distribution looking to you right now there, Vilify?
So you mentioned it towards the end. I was going to kind of bring it up if you did it, but you can kind of see, if you're looking at the specific graph on the screen right now, it's basically just like a diagonal line for both. But then when you look at Global, specifically in between the 30th and the 31st, it does like kind of kinks up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the lines are all straight, and then the last one is kind of diagonal. I know that's very nitpicky, but you can tell that was just like a big jump, right? Because you kind of see days where it'll stay the same. Like for JP on the 28th and the 29th, it was 24/7, and then on the last 2 days it was also 24/8. But then on Global it went 18.9, 19.0, and then 19.2 in the matter of 24 hours. So I think Global, again, it might just be the keys reset or something like that, but they just had a huge jump on that specific day. So maybe Halloween, nobody was trick-or-treating, no one was doing Halloween parties. I hope no one's trick-or-treating, honestly. But, maybe they're taking the kids out to trick-or-treat or something. But, it's a big jump on Halloween, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But Global is, maybe 7-8 months down the line, we might just be tied at this point. Who knows?
Well, I looked at the actual data set, and specifically between the 30th and 31st, Toon is responsible for 100k himself. Okay, so in that one day, in that 24-hour period, he got 100k himself. Joe was about 85k along those lines as well. So, you guys have some champions, some grinders there.
That has to be obviously keys, right? 100k in one day.
You know what? I mean, I would assume so, but it could also be 28-2, and he got lucky and got I don't know.
You know what it was? Tyster hit him with the farm bot. That's what it was.
Hey, Toon, you got something to confess there? All right. But let's just move on to the actual breakdown composition of each side. So let's look at JP Battle Power composition. We've got the boy Truth at the top, 34%. I'm right behind him at 22%. Minahato's at 14%. Jin's at 11%. Vilify there. You're still a squint there. You're still ahead
holding
of a
on to
couple
my
dudes at
7.
7.
Yep.
Yeah, still at your 7. And then we got Rick Fox and Sunblade at 6 apiece. So, I mean, this doesn't look any more different than usual. But you did mentioned earlier when we were talking that the Gamma Banner hasn't been treating you well, so you've just been you let your foot off the gas a little bit, right?
Yeah, so it was like, when I had 300 something stones sitting around, it was really easy to just sit there and like refresh my stamina with the link leveling, right? Then once you go 300 and you don't have any new units, you just want to close the game and throw your phone across the room or whatever. But you just don't have stones to unless you're just buying stones to do link levels, you just don't have stones to refresh and do it all day. So the Gammas haven't been nice to me. We're, 700 something deep, no featured units. So it's been a despair arc for me, but, you can't get any lower than this. So it's only up from here.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to point out is, as content creators, we want to, get the units, make the content and stuff like that. But that strictly ties into, like, power leveling links and power levels as a whole. If you don't get the new unit, there's nothing to power level the links through, right? So there is that. Okay, so let's move on to global. We have the global battle power composition now. Toon is keeping on pace to be at the top here at 29%. Gresh is at 19, and right behind him is Ningen. I think Ningen was a little bit smaller from before, but he's creeping his way through. And then we have Joe at 12%, and then Tystra at 11. I kind of remember him being around 9 last time, or 10, but he's gone up. And then, of course, we have Joker and Gale. Gale's back at school. Joker's busy at work again, so there is that. But, what are you thinking as it seems like people have been kind of cemented in places, except maybe Ningen will overtake Goresh?
Yeah, it seems that way. I know Goresh has got his whole thing going on, but I'm looking at the data from last month, and Tystra was at 10%, so he is now 11%, you said?
Yes, he's at 11 now.
So if he's at 12 next month, it's just who knows, right? I think it's kind of cool that, JP has 2 people tied for 6, but Global's got 2 people tied for 19%. So that's 38% of the wheel right there is just between 2 people, right? I think that's cool enough, right? And then our boy Gale at 4%, he's doing his thing, I guess. That's one way to put it.
or not doing his thing, I guess is the other way to put it. But yeah, so this is what global looks like, and it's a pretty interesting composition. I mean, I think Toon will get that 30%, and then I'm gonna bet Ningen overtakes Goresh this coming month. We'll see. It's possible. All right, so let's take a look at the actually most improved battle power as a percentage increase. And as you guys know, when you start off at 8 million, you go to 8.1 million. Yeah, you gained 100K, but percentage-wise, it's not very big. Versus if you're at 1 million and go to 1.2, it's a 20% increase. So let's take a look here. As you guys, I mentioned, Joker's on a little hiatus at 0.3%. Jin's he's been busy. I've talked to him quite a bit. He's at 1.5%. I've also been busy, but I'm at 2.9%. Goresh is at 3.1%. Gale, again, he started off kind of small, but he put a little bit of work in at 4.3%. Vilify's there at 6.3%. Sunblade at 6.3%. Ningen's at 6.5%. Rick's at 6.9%. Toon is at 7.3%. Truth is at around 7.3% as well. Joe is a big jump at 8.3%, and then Minato at 13%. The guy loves his grinding. And of course, Tystra with the astronomical 18.4% jump. What are your thoughts on this, Vilify?
So this time I went back to look at the data to see if his percentage had went up even more from last month, but it actually went down by about half. So maybe he's come down to earth, or he knows that we're onto him at this point, because last month he had 30.1% increase, and now he's down to what it was, that 18.4, I think the data said. Yes, 18.4. So, we're seeing a little bit of a drop off that, or his power level's actually starting to get to the real high numbers. So it's actually tough for him to move up a little bit. But, we'll go ahead and reveal the actual number here in a minute. But yeah, I'd say that from it not being 30%, it looks a little bit better. But still, I mean, he's 5% higher than the next guy. So I guess we'll see. It's pretty interesting stuff.
again, percentage-wise, again, if you start off somewhat small and you made a moderate increase, it's going to look huge on the percentage increase versus, if you're towards at the end and I make a 2.9% increase, but I really, it's like 300K, it's a big difference, right? So let's actually go into the actual number of battle power increase per day. So from the bottom up again, Ice Cold Joker at 128, Gale
I thought
at
that was Gale.
890.
I misread it.
Gale at 898, Jinro at 1214, Sunblade at 2870, Rick at 3298, Vilify there at 3367, right behind Goresh, which is at 3502. Above just under 5K at 4925. Joe is at 5537, so he's been doing some grinding. And then Ningen at 7025, Tystra at 10,893. Toon at 12,287, Minato at 13,048, and of course Truth right there at the top at 18,425. Anything jump out of you as just, oh my god, that's crazy, or oh my god, it's too low?
So last month we were talking about how Truth and Tystra were both at like 14K per day, and we were like, how is that even possible with Tystra?
Yes.
But now he's kind of cemented himself a little bit lower. Maybe he knows we're on doing, like I said earlier, but Minato at 13K, and Minato being ahead of Toon Rami is something I was not expecting, as Toon Rami's full on Dokkan, right? I know Minato still has his day job, so I don't know. Maybe 29.3 is that broken. I'm not sure. I don't know what Minato does now.
Maybe leave a comment, buddy, and let us all know your secrets, or maybe you won't. So I think for the most part, me, Goresh, Jin, we're very, very busy these days. I'm surprised that Tystra jumped down a little bit from, I think he was at, you said 14 or 15. Now he's down at 11. Either he's not getting lucky on the links on the normal runs, or maybe you're right. Maybe he knows something. But yeah, overall, I think this is pretty representative of everything. Again, I think Minato being ahead of Toon is a little bit of an eye opener. Not just even by like 100. It's talking to like 700, right? Just under. So that's quite a bit. But all right. To close it out, let's actually look at our full formed battle power rankings. We got Gale at 680K, Ice Cold Joker at 1.2, Sunblade at 1.5 million, Rick Fox just a little more at 1.57 million, Vilify, you're there at 1.77, Tystra at 2.17, Joe at 2.243, Jin at 2.605, Minato at 3.5, Ningen at 3.55, just a bit above, Goresh at 3.635, I'm right above him at 5.468 million. Toon has surpassed me at 5.620 million, and of course Truth at the very, very top, the peak of Everest at 8.368 million. So any big surprises to you, or as everything as expected?
I'd say everything is about as expected here. Tystra was past me last month, so now it's not even like a surprise to see he's just jumping, but I can't keep up with an 18% increase per month at this point. But
fair enough.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the jump between Goresh and yourself, right? Where we kind of have like levels to this, right? Where it's like Truth is just on a whole nother thing. He's almost 3 million ahead of the next guy. And you got yourself and Toon at like that 5.5-ish range, then Goresh down at 3.6. Yep. I'd say that's the most substantial jump, but it's also like even between Minato and Jin, right? That's almost 1 million difference right there as well. And then even myself and Gale, I have 1 million more than Gale. So I have 1 million more than somebody. I guess that's one way to put it.
As the way things are looking, you're going to forever have 1 million more over Gale unless he kicks his ass into gear. But I think everything is to be expected. I think last month I said Toon probably would overtake me because Dokkan is his life now. I have many other things to factor in, so I do what I can. Auto link leveling is great. Just leave it sit there and let it go. But if someone has more time in the day to do it, that is clear. So yeah, there's actually like you said, actual tiers, right? Truth, me and Toon, Minato, Ningen, Goresh, and then above that or right below that is Jin, and then the Tystra, Joe, then just a whole set for the 2 million people, and then of course Gale at the bottom. Sorry, buddy, but any predictions for next month?
I think that Gale is going to be over 700,000 next month.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay, so that means more than just a login. Okay.
He's got 653,000. He needs 47,000. I think he can do it.
Yeah. My bold prediction again, Ningen's only like, what is that, 80k behind Goresh. So at the rate that he's going, it's not a bold prediction, but it is a prediction. I think Ningen will overtake Goresh. But my bold prediction is Minato is going to take over both Ningen and Goresh. So make it happen, buddy. And if you need stones, you know who to hit up. So I know like I sound right.
Duly noted. I'll take that one.
Anything else before we sign off here?
No, I think we went ahead and covered everything here.
Yes, so guys, if you want more of this content, let us know what you think. Anything that we said that might be disparity or something you agree with, let us know in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you know to come back for more mobile gaming news with Dokkan and Legends. And with that said, I am Nolar, that is Vilify. We'll see you guys next month on the monthly power level.